Thank you to be on time. Okay. So let's start for the second session of the morning. And we will have the pleasure to get four very nice speakers. And the first one will be Paul. Paul van den Sande, of course, it is really a great pleasure and honor and privilege for me to introduce you here for this session. You know, 99% of the people here in this assembly know you, but 1% of the people don't know you because we have new candidates and new members. They don't know you. It's really incredible, but 1% still don't know you. Okay. So Paul had worked for several years in Antwerp Zoo, as you may know. He is now the executive director of the EUAC. And he had worked for 29 years. He had the idea to create the EUAC meeting a long time ago, to get together with some colleagues, with, for example, Eckhard or Jürgen. Well, here in this room again, and it's very important to say that. And this meeting 29 years ago was a very great success. It was a good opportunity to share experience on this new field that was the aquarium business at that time, 29 years ago. It was a very long time ago. And it's because of, thanks to Paul, that we are here today to this 29th session of EUAC. Paul is, I should say, a pillar of the EUAC. He is a monument. He is
surviving crocodile.
EUAC is his baby. But what is the most important? The baby of Paul is the friendship and the solidarity that he insufflated to the community, aquarium community. So this is the point. And I should say that EUAC meeting is very nice baby, very, very nice, and it has to live for a very long time. So Paul, thank you for your commitment in EUAC again and again and again. Now I'm going to let you talk and start your presentation. You have 40 minutes.
Thank you, Pierre. And first of all, I would like to say that, you know, Pierre is from France, and in France they have quite some imagination. So let's say that 90% is imagination, what he was telling you. But in fact, I'm really happy that I see that EUAC is going ahead as we stood for it at the beginning. And it's always a pleasure to see his baby grow to adulthood and then continue in the future. He said, I'm one of the pillars. That was true, or is true, but I'm also a surviving coelacanth, as told yesterday by Abe, but I didn't hide so much, so I was more visible whenever we had a meeting. Anyway, it will be not a presentation I will give you, but I thought it was interesting to know what happened in Shanghai at the 7th IAC meeting, which was hosted by the Ocean Aquarium in Shanghai. It was a very good meeting. I think we had more than 700 delegates representing 245 aquariums from 45 countries and regions, because the word regions was said there for our Chinese friends. There were 2 countries more, but they don't consider Hong Kong and as a country. It's a region for China, and therefore, and I also it's very nice to be able to say that all the IACs have a growing success. If you see at the figures at the bottom, we started earlier than 1998, but the figures go back to that year. So in 1998 we only had 190 participants, while now in Shanghai it was over 700. During the whole meeting, the delegates confirmed at the conclusions at the end of the meeting the status of aquariums as unique public institutions welcoming over 300 million visitors a year. They are a unique placed opportunity or institution to promote actions towards a better management, and conservation of the Earth, sorry for the H missing, aquatic ecosystems. They also agreed to act together in strategies and to strive to engage their public in common actions. I think these are all important things that were agreed upon. And also, and I think this might go to the survival of IAF, which is the International Aquarium Forum, and which would try to have the same role as EUAC has done in Europe. So they also agreed to reinforce the support for the IAF, to strengthen their commitment to integrated common actions as well. And at the end of the Congress, we all adopted with consensus the 7th declaration. You know, it's a tradition that at the end of each IAC meeting, there is a declaration forwarded and printed out, and this is the declaration in the great lines of it from the 7th IAC in Shanghai. This is already in the conclusions, but aquariums carry an obligation to protect the world heritage that is vested in our aquatic environments. Improper management of these resources put humanity and our planet at risk. Aquariums have to act responsibly and to speak with one voice, to be listened to. Participants also agree that this IAC marks the formal commitment of the aquarium community to this professional communication forum, which from today on, with the full endorsement of this Congress, will be our common voice. So I think IAF has an important role to play in the future, or anyway, we will try to play a role in the future. It's not too late to make a difference, but we have to act today, not tomorrow. This sentence we hear many times, but I think this was was endorsed by all the conference attendees. Therefore, aquariums, under the auspices of the IAF, should unite to use all possible resources to ensure that the public are fully and accurately informed, and use the plus or heavy emotional impact of an aquarium visit to stimulate communication of easily understandable messages that reach all ages. Be present and influential in international global environmental forums, such as the Global Forum on Oceans, Coasts and Islands. Actively promote the IAF as an acknowledged and respected professional reference for aquatic environmental issues, and combine their efforts worldwide in conservation of this fragile environment. Work hand in hand with scientists and research institutes to communicate results of research to our public, solicit collaboration in our public in ocean and aquatic environmental lobbying, and be more proactive in promotion of and in participation in worldwide common actions such as the World Ocean Day on June 8th of each year. And in the meantime, I have pleasure announcing you that the World Ocean Day has been recognized by the UNESCO as an official day. So it's a great achievement that has been achieved through the working of aquariums, through the working of One World Ocean Network, and this is the result of it. So I think it's, our actions have contributed to have this day as an official day recognized by the UNESCO. We also have to be present, that's what we have said. And then at the end it was clear that we have to extend both our hands to protect the environment of the oceans and aquatic systems. Let's work together to make this an even more beautiful ocean. And more information on the 7th IAC is available at the IAF website. The proceedings are there, so you can read all the presentations that were given in Shanghai. And this is as far as the report on the 7th IAC Congress. And during or before this IAC Congress, we had the opportunity to visit several aquariums in a pre-tour in Japan, and afterwards we had the opportunity to continue an after-Congress trip or post-Congress trip to some aquariums in China. I made a short video report it's maybe not always relevant, but I want to show you what we have seen during this trip. And I also want to say or to tell that we were everywhere, really very, very hardly received, and we had nice moments together with our friends over there. I will try to start the video. Okay, let's hope it's working now. Anyway, I should say that the husbandry and the quarantine section of this aquarium are great. They try to solve all your problems, and let's hope the final problem is finished. I said we were on the first trip, on the first aquarium was this marine Fukushima in Fukushima, and it's, as Abe yesterday said, it's a really specific aquarium. Indeed, only not the aquarium itself, but also the name, because the name was the result of a national contest, and they received 5,000 suggestions and finally picked up Marine Aquarium because it covers as well the marine area and the Fukushima area, and it was just selected from these suggestions. It's one building which is covered with glass. So this allows that at every display you have daylight, and this gives an extra touch to the aquarium itself. They keep, as many of the aquariums we are visiting, they keep as well marine mammals as fish, and specifically they have also a kind they could call biopark, because they have, let's say, a quite natural touch pool, which you will see later. And as Abe said yesterday, it's also a huge area. I just leave the images for you. I don't have to add many comments to it. And it's also a very short introduction because, well, time was relatively small, restricted. There are beautiful species which you do only see rarely, also those squid. And I must say that in general, the fishes and the invertebrates kept in the aquariums we visited were in good shape and in good health. This is a natural touch pool. And of course, an aquarium tour is not only dealing with fishes, husbandry, treatments and so on, but it can help you how to make tea on the Japanese manner. And Abe invited the participants to that, to learn how to make tea, and this is what's happening here. I must say it's quite interesting. Of course, it's a bit time consuming, but the result is perfect. It's a nice dosage. You have to follow all these steps in a certain order. You have to heat up the vessel in which you're making it, then you have to heat up the cups and so on. And then you use a kind of a shaver brush just to mix the green tea and the water, and then of course it's ready. Yesterday, Abe told also that every year they have a contest, and in this hall they show the results of the contest. It's drawings of children, and they are collected and exposed in this area. We were also out on the river where we had a lunch, and as usual, we are always welcomed in a specific Japanese manner, and it was a nice experience. The fish market also shown yesterday by Abe. It's nice fresh products, and then from there on we went to the Osaka Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire comes from the fact that all these places are linked with the Pan-Pacific area where there are many volcano activities. And there we were able to look in one of the biggest tanks, 11 million liters of water, in which they keep really very beautiful animals like these rays, manta rays, you will see. And then, of course, the big attraction for us was this whale shark. Because whale sharks, when you see them moving around, it's like a spaceship that glides over you without using too much energy. And it's really a fantastic image to look at them. Afterwards, we were also invited to go behind the scenes and to assist at the feeding session, where also the manta ray was there to feed upon what was fed to the whale shark. Splendid animals, imagine 6 or 7 meters span, and moving very in a gracious way. It's really beautiful animal to look at. From there on, we went to Okinawa, Huriami Aquarium, and this is it's Dr. Uchida who welcomed us and his staff members. Then we went through the aquarium, and there too, it's amazing and it's impressive the way they keep there, for instance, also whale sharks and manta rays. And what's more, even more pleasant to announce is the fact that they managed this year or at the end of 2008 to have born a manta ray. The first one was a bit earlier. The first one was born in 2007, but that animal died after 4 days. While this year, in 2008, on the 17th of June, another animal was born. It was kept outside in safe confinement, and at the time we were there, it was still living there. And they have also the genetic or the origin of the parents of the fish. Of course, also cuttlefish, octopus, invertebrate animals, and also rays and whale sharks. 2 of them. Impressive. And this successful birth of the manta ray is the second one that has been registered. They do, of course, research on reproduction, and the results will, of course, be available. Big-sized animals. This is the behind scenes of Okinawa, where we also assisted at feeding time of the whale sharks. Of course, all the others come to the same place because they know food is available. The smaller ones, of course, take advantage. Really impressive the way they get the food. We went to Taipei, and from Taipei we went by bullet train or by high-speed train to the southern tip of Taiwan, where we were visiting the marine, it has a specific name, I will see on my notes how it calls. It's the Natural Museum of Marine Biology and the Aquarium, and there too it's quite an event to visit such big institutions. We had a good tour leader, Mr. Ito, and he took us everywhere. We were, well, he was like a colonel in the army, you know. We had to be at 8 o'clock stepped in the morning or 7 o'clock to leave the place, to visit 2 hours, then go back to the next and so on. It was really very tight, the schedule we had, but we managed to visit the aquariums that were chosen for this pre-Congress tour. Lunch at noon. Of course, if you travel a lot, you need some food to survive. And I can tell you that both in China and in Japan, it was quite something when you looked at everything that came on table. Penguins, Adelie penguins, very vivid, coming, of course, from the Antarctic. Always large colonies. Play area for children, coral reef vision, corals. And another view of big tanks. It was not always easy to get some images because of lightning conditions. Again, the whale shark, which I said is quite impressive when it glides over your head. Tunnel, of course, very popular everywhere. Each aquarium we visited had tunnels, longer or shorter, but anyway, of larger dimensions. They are also quite interested in coral breeding, and behind the scenes it's quite an activity. When we were visiting that area, you will see how they are budding the corals, how they are fixing them on a substrate. And it's like, I should say, it's not pejorative, but it's like an industry, you know. Somebody busy days and days just to fix the buds on substrate, preparing them to be in a holding tank. If they start doing something, they started on a big scale, on a large scale. After Taiwan, we went to Shanghai Ocean Aquarium, where we had our IAC meeting. This aquarium too is one of the biggest one in China, and it was an investment of about 55 million EU dollars, and also there is quite a spectacular submarine tunnel. The surface is about, occupied surface is about 20,000 square meters, and it's also divided in several areas where they develop 9 different areas where they show animals from. Very beautiful arapaimas, tigerfish, catfish. And there, of course, we had the 7th ISC meeting, and I said in my report, largely attended, and I think it was a nice meeting, also with many, many papers, and I said on the IAF website, you can read the proceedings of that Congress. course, the images, it's amateur images, and they can only give a short or an impression of what we have been seeing visiting those aquariums. Polar area. Also penguins, of course, they are very popular in China as well as in Japan, also in Europe, of course. But they, in general, the number of animals they keep are quite large, big numbers. They say this is the longest tunnel in China, probably exact. Lookdowns, sharks. And of course, a shop. And then, as usual, at each of the IAC meetings, there is at the end, there is a gala dinner, there is a farewell party, and of course, as we always experience, it's worthwhile assisting it. It's nicely organized specifically for that area, and therefore we had Chinese drums. We had the president of the Shanghai Aquarium, Ocean Aquarium, welcoming all the participants. The different people from the board, aquarium management, they all welcomed everybody. And at the end of the evening also, it was, the message was passed that the next meeting, 2012, will be in Cape Town at the Two Oceans Aquarium. Traditional writing, songs, and at the end, to close the evening, we had the dragon dance. So we were confronted, we had the possibility to look a bit in the Chinese way of performing or closing congresses and meetings. This is the announcement that we will go to Cape Town. We are always wished good luck in the future and success for the next Congress. The dragon dance. From there on, we went on a post-Congress tour, and the first aquarium we were visiting on that tour was Xi'an. You know, Xi'an is very famous because of these terracotta soldiers and other nice museums. And also the Xi'an Aquarium, it's called the Guizhang Ocean Park, is, of course, as usual, a great place to experience. And in the first pavilion, you are confronted with the past. There are skeletons, there are fossils. And it's one of the 5 top ocean parks in China, because actually today there are 82 aquariums in China, and the number is still increasing. Education starts to come up, and also the, how should I say, the awareness about problems and conservation are better and better transferred to the public. Messages are clear, and I think they understand, all the aquariums worldwide now understand the importance of being involved in conservation projects. I can tell you that in Shanghai, for instance, they have a whole area